Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Jay is joining us.
Hello everyone.
And you brought the beer this time.
I did.
And where's it from?
It is from New Zealand.
That's pretty far away.
Yeah. I basically had a gentleman reach out to me and said, hey, I like your show. I'd like to send you some beer from New Zealand. So I said, okay. Why would I say no?
Yeah. This is also another special episode because you can't tell, but there's a reporter from local paper here covering us. Say hi.
Hi.
See? We're not lying. Anyways, ready to dig into this?
Sure.
Alright.
Alright, well we have our pour. And for starters, you can see that the beer is definitely without a doubt a very black, opaque look to it. There's no transparency at all.
No.
I think what shocked us was it generated huge heads.
Yeah.
I mean, we really took our time pouring this. You even used your method, I used my method, and we both still got very large heads.
Yeah, it's like a sponge.
Yeah, and it's got the head is also dark in color.
Yeah.
I can't tell the carbonation or if there's any sediment in the beer. I did see the last little bit when I poured some stuff mixed up in with it, which is probably the yeast because it is bottle conditioned.
Yeah, and that's probably what accounts for the large head too.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
You might have a little bit more bitter beer than mine because you have the yeast in it. But
Aroma?
pretty standard, like kind of coffee Imperial Stout.
Yeah, I got some of the wine qualities, which is interesting because it was oak aged or it was barrel aged in a Pinot Noir barrel. So I guess that it's fitting that it has like a wine like quality to it.
Yeah, you can kind of get like black or black licorice, red grape. I get like a Hershey syrup kind of smell.
Yeah, I was gonna say some chocolate notes for sure.
I think that thick head's actually blocking the aroma.
I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
Well, let's taste it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You did a good job working with the alcohol there. You never know it's 10.2. Yep,
that's definitely well masked. My first impression was I definitely got a nice roasty note to it. I mean, it was extremely roasty and kind of reminded me like how some oatmeal stouts kind of have that feeling in the back of the palate.
Yeah, it has a really smooth, velvety texture.
Yeah.
What's weird is that the mouthfeel on this seemed like a little thin. Kind of like when we did the Ballast Point last week.
Their Imperial Stout.
Yeah. But it has like a, more, it doesn't feel, like that kind of felt fizzy and carbonated. This feels, a little more flat, which is fine.
Yeah. I do pull some of that oak age from the barrel age process. I do pull some of that woody like quality in it as well. And I also, in a weird way, do kind of taste like a grapish kind of flavor, and just the finish just kind of sits there.
I thought it'd be a little stronger tasting than this. It's, it's definitely very well balanced because it's not any one particular flavor jumping out over another.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you get a pretty standard kind of milk stout or oatmeal stout up front. Like if I was drinking this blind, I might even mistake it for a 5-6%.
Yeah.
Milk stout or something like that.
The one thing I will say though is I am not noticing any coffee traits to it, and the description does say that, so that is throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, I don't really get coffee hardly at all. I don't think it's actually brewed with coffee. I mean, a lot of stouts like this you just tend to get coffee because of the way they roast the malts and stuff.
But I'm not pulling that here so far.
No.
Well, what do you think? Take a little break and drink some more of it and come back a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
We'll be back. Alright, well we're back and we both have just a little bit of beer here left. Chad saved some to do a final chug with me. I know that's not your standard, but it's mine, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Why don't you go first? Tell me what you thought about this beer.
I thought it was nice. It's, not anything totally unique or radical or anything. I was telling Jay off camera, it kind of reminds me of Southern Tier Oat. Actually something even smaller than that because like I was, saying, 10.2, you'd never know. This drink's more like a 5 or a 6%.
Yeah.
Seems very sessionable to me. Nice kind of sweet stout. You get a little bit of that dairy quality in there.
For sure.
Kind of like what you get in a milk stout. As it's warmed and as we're getting towards the bottom, again, pulling a lot more bitterness off of it. It's more of a plain dryness, kind of like coffee. I wouldn't say it tastes like coffee though. It's just kind of like coffee bitterness. But yeah, it's good. It's satisfying. There's plenty of flavor. Very well balanced. Nothing mind blowing. So I'm gonna give this an 8. It's very good, I think. What do you think?
As far as for myself, I went into this having really no expectation and no idea what I would think of it.
Right.
And I don't know if New Zealand's known for great beer. So having that thought process, I thought it was a pretty good beer.
Yeah.
I didn't love it. I wasn't blown away by it.
Right.
But I think that there's nothing negative to say about it.
Oh, totally. I
definitely pulled a lot of dryness towards the end, like you described, and it kind of just sat there and just hung out in the back of the throat for a little while.
Yeah.
I think I would like a beer with maybe a little bit more sweetness to it. You know, like if it had like maybe some more chocolatey sweetness or the coffee, I think they would make it more enjoyable, but still satisfying at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And more importantly,
it was really sweet at first.
Yeah, yeah. More importantly, the bottle's kind of got like a greenish color to it, so I was a little afraid what to expect.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any negative effects from the bottle, at least that I could say.
Yeah. Dark beer like this should be fine though.
Yeah. Well, I've had some that weren't. So why don't we do a final chug and then I'll reveal my final grade.
All right. Cheers.
As far as my final thought and grade, I would say I enjoyed it. I was happy to try something like this. Overall, I thought it was a good beer. I wouldn't say it deserves any more higher ranking than that. So on your scale, that's probably like, what, a 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think it's a very good because I thought it was a little bit better than the Sea Monster we did the other day.
I thought it was,
they're both Imperial Stouts.
Yeah, I would say it's probably right in.
Because that was 10% too, and that was very boozy. This is 10.2, and you know, there's no heat, no warmth.
Yeah.
Maybe that's accounting for like the really kind of smooth body on it, you know.
I would think that this is very close. I felt the same as far as my overall impression, even though I had different thoughts on them.
Yeah.
So that's where I am.
Yeah. Well, I guess that about wraps it up. So thanks to Jay for coming over and bringing the Moa Imperial Stout all the way from New Zealand.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I want to thank the gentleman who sent this to me as well.
Yeah. And thanks too. All right. I guess we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Cheers.